Hey guys, M2 Collector here with another figure review, and next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series Disney Plus Wave 1 Captain America Flight Gear Build-A-Figure. Here we have Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. Now this is technically now our fourth Winter Soldier MCU figure, so he has short hair in this one. I'm not sure if anything is going to be the same. I think a lot of this is going to be new. Maybe the arm is reused, but we will kind of see a comparison between the older ones and this newer one to see if there is anything new or if anything is old. He does come with one wing piece there, and in terms of accessories, it comes with the fist for his right hand and then open hand for his Vibranium arm. Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show logo up there. We get a Winter Soldier logo there. Build-A-Figure, Captain America Flight Gear, side artwork of Bucky Barnes. The actor's name. What's the actor's name? Why can't I think of it? I always draw a blank every time I'm coming up to it. Sebastian Stan. So artwork looks pretty good there. We'll get the same look on the back of the package. His bio reads, Winter Soldier, thrust back into the real world, Bucky is forced to figure out how to become James Barnes again, all while facing demons from his past, which I really enjoyed kind of that backstory a little bit there. Well, that's a little scary sounding. But anyway, let's get Bucky out of the package. Okay, and here's Bucky out of the package, and there's just some weird things going on with this figure. Like, I really wanted to like it, and it seems to be one of the more popular ones from the wave, but there's just some weird things. Now, the other thing is I just don't think that we've gotten a really great Winter Soldier MCU figure. I was hoping that this would kind of be the one, but I'm left a little bit disappointed. But again, happy to have an MCU figure for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, the TV show. MCU figures, I love them. Movie figures, I guess TV show figures now also. So I'm excited in that aspect, but there's just some things that are just a little bit lackluster. The big positives here is because it's all new mold, 100% new, they didn't reuse anything. We get pinless technology here, so that's an added plus. The Vibranium arm looks really, really cool. The head sculpt is just okay. So it seems like, for me anyway, the promo images kind of looked a little bit more like Sebastian Stan. Having it in my hand, I could see the likeness at some angles, but I'm left a little bit disappointed. So in terms of accessories, again, we just have a wing piece, so we'll kind of put that off to the side there. Again, he has a fist that comes with for his right arm, and then out of the package, we have an open hand. In the package, he actually has the left fist actually on the figure already, so I already swapped that out. But anyway, let's get in for a closer look to take a look at the details of the figure. Okay, so here's an up-close look, and like straight on, it's just not really Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier. Probably there might be the best angle, or maybe turn a little bit right there. It's good. It's just not great, and head on, it just doesn't. I don't know, something weird about it. The 5 o'clock shadow looks pretty good. The digital face print, you know, there's no issues there or anything like that. Looking at the rest of the figure, we get this blue leather jacket, which kind of has a couple of things going on. So we actually get some shading in the front, and I think it might be a little hard to tell, but we get a lighter blue color here in the front because the base plastic is actually a darker blue. So looking here on the back of the figure is when you'll really notice it, because it looks kind of off. So you could see where they did it. So it kind of loops around here, then you have the darker portion there. Let's see if I can get some brighter light. Okay, so yeah, you have the lighter blue and then the darker blue. So why the shading went like that and missed that spot and didn't go over here just looks a little funny to me. I don't know exactly why they did it that way, but I'm glad that they're doing some of that shading type of stuff, because we don't typically get that. Here on the arm, you can see it in the front, but then you don't get it on the side. You get it on the shoulder there. So just some weird things. The figure looks very bright and shiny. So it's kind of odd. The thigh cuts are in an extremely weird spot where it's really down low. So you get a lot of sculpted details of the fabric here. You kind of have some wrinkles and stuff, and then it goes kind of smooth. So it just looks kind of funky. He's got some weird ankles to where the ankles are kind of, the foot kind of comes around that ankle. We've seen that a few times, so it's kind of weird when it comes to like the ankle pivot. So it's just some odd things going to it. I mean, overall, it looks good. I think he's a little too narrow, and Sebastian Stan's not a super bulky guy or anything, but it still looks just a little bit off for me. Looking at the Vibranium arm as we kind of go in, let's see if we can get a little bit closer. The Vibranium arm looks really cool. It is not the same as the Infinity War 2-pack that we got, which was still just a silver color with yellow in there. This thing's all new. It's done in a nice, shiny, metallic black plastic paint. We don't have any pins kind of getting in the way, and we got a nice, a lot of nice yellow paint that kind of goes on into there. Now, some of that is sculpted line work, and then some of it's just kind of painted on there. And it all looks pretty good. It all looks pretty like intricate and detailed, especially like on the hands. But I like it. I really like how shiny it is, because in the show it was actually pretty shiny like that. Now I don't think this is gonna pop off or anything, so you can kind of do that one scene. But yeah, pretty cool. So now let's see his articulation. Okay, so Bucky can look down somewhat. His head is on a dumbbell joint, so it's hard to kind of get some of that motion. So he can look up. It's just really an issue kind of looking down. You get a full rotation in there. You get some pivot going on, so that is pretty good. Shoulder, you can get it to go out that much. You can get a full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel. You have a double jointed elbow like so, which is good. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. We have an ab crunch, so we can crunch forward that much, which is pretty good. They actually kept the shading going there and then on the back, so that's cool. Going back, you can crunch that far back. You do have a waist swivel there. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that much there. You have a mid thigh cut, so it's not an upper thigh cut. It's right here in the middle, so it's just such an odd spot for it. But you do get it in there, and then it really breaks up the sculpt because you kind of get some bagginess of the pants right at the knee. So it's just kind of weird. And again, it is a pinless knee as well. Double jointed knee. We have a boot swivel at the top of the boot. Foot hinges all the way down. Get a tiny, ever so tiny bit hinge up. Ankle pivot, and the ankle pivot's weird because it's the shoe part wraps around the ankle, but the ankle pivot and pegals at the bottom of the feet. It's a good overall looking figure, TV show accurate. It's just the thigh cut is throwing me off. The weird shading that doesn't go throughout is a decent attempt. The ankles are kind of weird, but they are effective. So just a couple of things. I guess I just wanted more, and it's probably not fair. It's like, what else could I have expected from this figure? I think it could be just a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit wider. I think it's just a little too narrow. One thing that this figure definitely suffered from the Infinity War version. So this one isn't as narrow as this one. The new one isn't as narrow as the older one, so that's good. It's just, you know, I want a great Winter Soldier figure, and I don't know that this is great. It's really good, just not great. Okay, so looking at all of the MCU Winter Soldier figures, it is a huge improvement over what we have gotten before. These two were essentially the same figures. They just had different upper torsos. The arms were the same, the legs were the same. Just not a very good figure overall for Captain America Civil War. Then the Infinity War version, and it looks okay. Articulation and whatnot is decent. The arm looked, should have been darker from what we had seen in the final product of the movie. The torso just really narrow and thin to me, so I just kind of canceled it. So whereas I'm disappointed in this figure, it's still my favorite and I think the best Winter Soldier MCU figure that we've gotten so far. So I hate to really shit on it, and it's actually a good one. So if you don't have a Winter Soldier figure, any of these three that were released before, this one's definitely a must pick up. But just kind of be aware that there's not a whole lot to it. Accessories, we only get the interchangeable hands, no weapons or anything like that, which I guess in the show he didn't really use very many weapons. I mean, he did have a gun at some point, he had a knife at some point as well. So just kind of some of those things, but again, it is the best looking one. That's a pretty crazy difference between the comic version and the MCU version. You can see the comic version is much, much bulkier and kept the long hair, whereas the MCU, they decided to go a short hair route, and he's just not all that bulky. I really like the design of this jacket from the first, from Captain America Civil War, and then that one scene where it actually has that flashback and it shows the Winter Soldier. I really like that look, and I think they've really strayed away from it, and I just think that this look is just a bit odd. Yeah, it's just kind of odd, especially when he had jumped out of the plane and he fell down to the ground. The pants and the boots just look kind of funky. It didn't really scream like tactical or military-like in any way. And maybe in MCU, he would want to stay away from that because Maybe he's trying to avoid that and change who he is and right the wrongs of his past. I don't know. I think I'm rambling at this point. But anyway, comic next to MCU. Okay, so my final thoughts on the figure. I think it's a must grab, but you know, I think you want to kind of keep your expectations low. It doesn't do a whole lot. The face sculpt I think could be better because Hasbro has killed it on a lot of face prints and get them to really look like the actor, get those likenesses correct. Here it's better than the others, I would say, but still not great. So again, if you don't have Winter Soldier, go ahead and pick this one up. But I am happy to get another character from the TV shows. You know, we've only had WandaVision and now the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I want to see figures for all the characters, all the new character designs and costumes and all of that. So that's my take. You guys let me know yours down in the comments below. Give me all your thoughts. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.